What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going, guys? So, unpopular opinion. When it comes to the topic of the husband being the breadwinner and the wife being a stay-at-home wife and raising the children, the common thing I hear is no one can afford it anymore and this and that. Who can afford to stay at home? Which, let me add to that, yes, I know things are expensive, but the reason why it's mostly expensive is because not just inflation like they say, but everything. Anyone noticed whenever women weren't working, things were much cheaper? Not just regular inflation or deflation or whatever from back in the day to now. But the reason why that is because they knew that the government and businesses knew that there was only one income, so they had to keep houses and cars and everything under a certain price. Once they convinced women foolishly to leave the home in masses and, start working, then they could raise the prices of everything now that there's more than likely two incomes in a household. Women fell for that. So any woman that complains about that but yet is working, I just look at her like she's a part of the problem. But anyways, I know that sounds misogynistic or whatever you want to call it, but I'm just speaking the truth about why the economy is the way it is. But anyways, though, in reality, I'd say a good 90% of men can afford to have a stay-at-home wife and children. And before you get your panties in a bunch, let me explain why. If you find a woman that is willing to live within your budget, who's able to live within your budget, and is not going to try to overspend, and who's going to honor and respect your situation, whether it's y'all living in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment with hopes that someday God will bless you with a job to where you can make more money and maybe get a house. But otherwise, the real problem is that most women want to have a second car, like they would want to have their own car. They want to live in the house. They want to have vacation money. They want to have money to just buy random useless stuff on Amazon because they're bored. But also, too, they don't want to be stay-at-home wives. Even if they did find a guy that could do it. Like, not in the traditional sense, at least. They'd want to be at home and get their nails done and, go all across the city doing who knows what whenever you're working. But they wouldn't actually want to be stay-at-home wives. The staying at home part. That's what it boils down to me. That's what seems to boil down to me. These women can be stay-at-home wives. They expect a guy who makes $100,000 a year or more, or who can afford to pay for her car note as well as his, rather than being a stay-at-home wife and them sharing the car. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents.